I should just not kill that guy, but it's annoying to Memory of Grace out of that area. I have to like spend my runes first, but I probably should. I should probably do it that way. All right, we go. Continue.
Well, there's been how can I help?
But yeah, I do think it's a relatively small amount of the player base that cares about the lore in these games, and I also think beyond that a big percentage of the people who say they care about the lore and they actually do care about it or whatever don't even get it from the game. They're getting it from YouTube videos. Which, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, I guess, but that's just a observation. And so in that case, are you really playing the game for the lore or what? I don't know.
Back unusual this.
Dang, dude.
Oh, welcome. I teach and explore so that one ensuring. By the way, you most time you are well.
I guess I'm not going to fight that guy this time, though. Oh yeah, 100%. I do think there are people that read every item description and try to piece it together. 100% I do. I mean, I kind of played like that on my first DLC playthrough. I kind of played like that. But my main point is that ultimately I think that's a small amount of people, and the majority of players are just playing to have the gameplay or to just play the game pretty much. I do think it's fun to do that. Yeah, sure. But me personally, if I'm going to try to do a lore through of a game, I just wouldn't pick Souls, probably. I'd rather pick Elder Scrolls or something. You read one item description, understood everything. Yeah, surely.
Well, I presume. Oh, I am an old, so perhaps you.
All right. What do I think about people hating on DS2 this much? I honestly think that's... people are not hating on DS2 as much anymore as they used to. But... yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people that don't like DS2 haven't even played it. And they just watch someone say it's bad and just hopped on the train.
Hello? Anyone? Oh,
I do think there are obvious downsides of the game, but it does some things worse than the other Souls games. It does some things better. Overall, it's still a really good game, I think.
Wait, I see it now. Humans all lose their wits eventually.
Do you need to fully charge this for it to... it's kind of it's an interesting attack. I kind of like it. I think, but I do think recently there are more DS2 defenders, and people give DS2 a chance, and it's like, oh, it's actually pretty good. More hate for Demon Souls than DS2 these days? Really? Interesting. I never really hear people talking a lot about Demon Souls. Just because what is going on, dude? Oh my god. I wonder how that happened even. You just casted it twice, or was that a different bat? Interesting. Okay, I guess I'm going to spend all my money. Yeah, maybe I hit the wrong spot, I guess, but I saved it, I guess. Spend all my money, just memory grace out of this cave. Problem is, I'm going to need some extra money to upgrade the weapon. That's the problem here. Should be, I mean, it's not expensive. So how should I do this then? How should I do it? Killing the Bell-bearing Hunter after isn't really an option either. Because of... I want to get Warrior Jar, and I want to get it with the Frozen Needle as well. Oh, wait, what does that have to do with anything? I guess just the stats to wield it. How much DS2 hate comes from people who played the game, or wait, played the game, or not even played the game, expecting a terrible experience, then got an unsurprisingly terrible experience? I don't know what you're saying. But obviously I don't have numbers for any of this, but I do think... yeah, if someone goes into a game thinking it's going to be shit, a lot of times they're going to think it's shit regardless of whether it is or not. Yeah, 21%. Right, and if you're looking for all the bad things, and you're looking for it to be bad, then it's going to be bad, pretty much. Unless it's like objectively an insanely good game, and just perfect in every way. Obviously, DS2 is not. But yeah, I guess it's also possible that you go in expecting something to be bad, and it's actually good. But in order for that to happen, you need to have an open mind, right? So how'd I get 1,000 runes there? I'm hoping this is somehow enough to get to +6. Don't be alarmed. Yeah, I do wonder how my PC is going to fare. Like, someone said check temp. Like, I'm curious how it's going to fare for being on for such a long time. Yeah, it's definitely good so far. All good so far.
Well, then I presume.
Yeah, after weeks of being on, I wonder what's going to happen. Okay, we do have enough money. Golden Vow, let's go here. But yeah, again, I'm not saying DS2 is a perfect game that no matter who you are, you're going to go in and you're going to have a life-changing experience or anything like that. So certainly not what I'm saying, but
Forgive me to determine if you had. It seems
it's
torrent.
certainly
as I
underrated.
there is, but I can take gathering.
And a lot of the hate for it is not justified. A lot of it is, to be fair, but a lot of it's not. And a lot of it's coming from people who just, I don't even think have played the game. But I also don't think that it's as common anymore, somehow. We good? I also, you know what, another thing I think too is that DS2 is a game that gets better the more you play it. At least that's been my experience. The more you know about it, the more it's enjoyable. Whereas I think a game like Elden Ring is so easy to just jump into it. It's just so good right away. So sure, that's a flaw with the game, but that is the case. So if you don't give it a fair chance, then... No, it's not about Stockholm Syndrome. It's just about... Once you understand the mechanics, because there are a lot of things happening in that game. Once you understand what's possible, it becomes more fun to use all the mechanics that the game has. Whereas a game, I guess, like Sekiro, which is right away, it's super fun. But then the more you play it, I honestly think the more it gets boring. It's not the same replayability, I guess. I didn't get the physics, but it doesn't even matter, dude. Doesn't matter. How on earth did that miss? I feel like we got our stun eaten here.
Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished. I shall remember thee.
Often do you see anybody say they hit Morrowind these days?
Smoldering with thy meager flame.
Well, wait, are you saying just because it's like an old game, basically no one plays it anymore or something? And it's the same with DS2? Or I didn't see if you said anything before that. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a fair point. Probably true. Although I do like, I talk highly of Morrowind, and then people tell me like, oh, I tried it and I just cannot play it, which is fair. But what was I going to do? I thought I had to go do something.
Fine.
Oh yeah, the physic. I do think though, I think when you're playing old games, like yeah, Daggerfall, you really need to play it from the point of reference that the game is 20 years old, 25 years old, you know, like, I guess more than that. You can't be going into Daggerfall thinking you're playing Elden Ring, but I mean, Daggerfall is a fun game, man. But there's certain, like, it's obviously old as hell. Like, not sure what you would expect.
You there? Come over here, would you?
I'm gonna go get the ritual sword too, I guess. Oh, you know what I forgot? I didn't get the wing sword. What's the FromSoft game I like the most? Yeah, Elden Ring is definitely the one I like the most. All the other ones I like pretty much equally, I would say. Maybe Sekiro I like a little bit less, but even saying that, it's only because of the replay value of the game. That's it. I still really like the game. Kind of funny, we actually get most of the poison bloom we need just in this cave. It's a little risky, maybe. Thought I'd try to use it, though. Wasn't a rock rock from environment counts as a hit? It does not. Hits can only be from enemies or traps, basically. At least with the rules that I use. I wonder if I should try to go for a stun here, like immediately. That's a thing I can do. It's actually not fast enough. First time in a while Gillica's actually survived, but I kind of just stopped attacking, I guess.
You there? Come over here. What's it to you? Stay back, you wretched tarnished. Oh, why is it always me? What did I do to deserve?
Yeah, why can't every NPC boss fight be like this? Miyazaki hates us, dude. Yeah, I was thinking about that. My voice will be totally... Like, it's going to be pretty bad at the end of this, I think. It's a lot of talking. Jesus, dude.
Maybe I'll give you the best nut ever.
Owen, thanks for the Burning Prime sub. Thanks, dude. How much longer are you going to be on this session? Probably, how long's it been so far? It's been, what, 10 hours? 11 hours, maybe? Probably until, like, 12 or so. Maybe 1. So, yeah, like another 2.5 hours or so.
Maybe I'll give you the best nut ever.
Is that right? I think I started at 10:30, so it was around 10:30. So I think it's been about 11, a little under 11 hours. Maybe like 10.5. Cactus, thanks for the 2-month Prime sub, dude. I haven't done Ring City yet, but so far DS3 has some good bosses, but they don't stack up to Mesmer, Millennia, Rolana. Some of them certainly do, but the level of complexity in Elden Ring has gotten higher. There's no question about it. Like, does that mean they're better though? That's a real question. Where is the line to be drawn? Because there's a certain point at which bosses in a game like this, or pretty much any game, limited by the mechanics, are just too... There's just too much happening. Like, they're too complex, or they do too many things, and your character just can't deal with it. because you're limited. I would argue that in this game is the first time that they've crossed the line. I think this game is where they've crossed the line. In Dark Souls 3 is where they were, like... I think it's basically the perfect amount of boss complexity for the most part. I can't believe how easily this weapon kills him in phase 1.
I am the Lord.
Like, it's actually ridiculous, dude.
All that is
It's just the perfect amount of poise damage, I think.
and one day we'll return together.
Yeah, but that, not everyone
our home,
might agree with that, obviously, but
bathed in rays of gold.
I think DS3 is the perfect amount of... I almost feel like that game just has some perfect bosses in it. Maybe not absolutely perfect, but just overall the good bosses in that game are what I imagine video game bosses should be. Sure, there are some bad bosses, but if we're talking about the highlight bosses versus... highlight boss in DS3 versus this game, I do think they go too far sometimes in this game. But bosses like Champion Gundyr and Dancer, Gale... Well, I guess I'm just spoiling the game, but... Twin Princes, Soul of Cinder... Demon Princes, like, they absolutely just nail it, dude. At least in the context of the player's abilities. I don't mean too difficult. I mean... I guess it could be too difficult, but that's not exactly what I mean. I mean too complex and too dynamic, maybe. Millennia is a good example of this. I can't think of any attack quite like Waterfowl in Dark Souls. Although Osiris does have an insta-charge, which is pretty fucking garbage, to be fair, but... That's sort of the type of thing I mean. You know, Waterfowl, some of Bale's attacks, it's too much, I think. It crossed the line. Yeah, but obviously it's just my opinion. I still think the bosses that I mentioned are still really good bosses, but it's just like a little bit too much. Yeah, like the Bale's flying, you know, when he flies and just shoots a bunch of fireballs at you and you're just, you know, random lightning everywhere. That's a little too much. And yeah, his flying laser attack is like actually insane. The way to dodge it is just, it's not an intuitive way to dodge it at all. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And exactly, it's all about cinema, and that's kind of the problem. And that's what I was worried about when I heard the DLC was being made. I was worried about them continuing to trend in the direction of, you know, cinema bosses rather than what I think DS3 does, which is a perfect combination of cinema plus really good boss fight. Again, I know they're a bad boss in DS3 though. I'm talking about like the bosses that are supposed to be the highlight ones. I'm not talking about Greatwood or fucking the 8 NPC bosses in this game. I'm not talking about those ones. Yeah, bouncing fire. Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Like, I think bouncing fire was a choice by them to try to make bosses more dynamic, and it just failed miserably. Really bad. Just wait for night. Yeah, Mesmer's pretty good. Yeah, Mesmer's a really good boss. I think, I don't think Mesmer crosses the line. For the most part, although he does have some pretty... Like, some of his attacks are... That insane, like, 6-poke flying attack he does. It's quite a bit, but I think Midra in the DLC is... He's not a perfect boss. There's one flaw I can think of, which is just the cancel he does when he does his fly up in the air attack. But that's a boss that I think is just so... Like, that's in the line, I think. Some people might say he's too simple. But I think that's the right amount of dynamic and, you know, cinema plus complexity of the fight. I think it's the right balance. And I do agree, he does feel simple when you're used to fighting Millennia, you're used to fighting Rolana, Bale, all these bosses and Consort. Like, he feels simple, but I think that's what it should be. I think that's the right amount. Yeah, Consort's another example of a boss that I think just he crosses the line 100%. Looks cool as hell though, and I think that's what they were going for. But he definitely crosses the line. Some of his attacks are just so shit. At least when they nerfed him, the boss did become much better. But their vision was the first fight, I think, and it was terrible. It was really fucking bad. I was honestly in disbelief. It ruined my DLC, or it didn't ruin my DLC playthrough, but it sucks to end on such a low note. I was like, man, this boss sucks, is what I thought, and I was right.
Welcome.
Much better now, but still, I still think he crosses the line. Like, some of the attacks are just way too much.
The festival.
Too much going on.
But
So yeah, basically that's why, or that's what I think about the bosses in DS3 compared to this game. And if you are used to bosses in this game, and then you go back to DS3, it's like, wow, all these bosses are so simple, dude. But I think it's the right amount of simple, right combination of complexity with visuals, and they pretty much nailed it in that game. I wonder if I should go multi-hit here. Cross-Sauce was a beautiful attack. Yeah, surely. Excellent attack. I could be wrong, though. Maybe that wasn't their vision and it was just a mistake. A QA issue or something. Like, whoever was testing the boss on Consort just was doing it with Mimic Tier and just running away. And, like, they just didn't think people would fight him straight up or something. But fucking hell, dude. That was close. I feel like we have less damage this time. Maybe just because maybe I should have gone with the multi-hit. Nice. Or yeah, maybe when they were testing Consort, they're just thinking like, we gave you so many OP shields You have the Mimic tier. You have all these buffs. Like, they're just going to go and do it, you know? Just shield poke with the fucking... whatever that DLC shield is or something. That's not great design, honestly. Best bosses are the ones that you can deal with in several different ways. Where pretty much every build is viable for them.
Only fine. You have now to become the fingers as much.
Yeah, and level 20 blessing as well. I couldn't even imagine. On my first playthrough, I was at level 19 blessing because I missed 2 shards that were just in some random pot guy, obviously. As one does. And I didn't get stuck on Consort for that long. It was maybe like an hour. And I had a very honest build. Like, I learned the moveset quite well before I killed him, which was kind of my goal.
Thanks for the content.
But I couldn't even imagine if you went in there and you were plus 12 blessing, and this would have been before they changed the scaling of blessings and it was more linear rather than soft cap at 12. People who went in there at level 12 blessing would have just gotten absolutely decimated. Like, there's no way, dude. You would have been stuck on that for weeks. Henter, thanks for the 11-month Prime sub. Probably even more so than Millennia, just because the scaling is so off. At least Millennia, I mean, she does a shit ton of damage and stuff, but the balancing is at least reasonable. But if you got in there and you were way too low blessing, which I'm sure lots of people did, it would have just gotten cooked, man. It's like, why is this boss that has a straight-up unfair moveset one-shotting me with his cross attack? Right? Like, some frame trap attack that I can't roll, and I'm just 80% of my health is gone in a single hit. That's what it would have been like. %, health gone on an attack that I literally cannot dodge.
You surprised no matter why don't.
Only thing that's bad is the long range clone attacks on who? Millennia or Consort? Oh, like current Consort? I still think I don't agree. I would put him in an A tier boss. I still think he's a good boss. But there's still too much happening there. I think. They really did not need all of this insane light show. And I get he's supposed to be the final boss, this huge lead up to him and stuff, but it's still too much. And yeah, there's definitely things that prevent him from being an S tier, and I just don't even think the fight is that interesting compared to some of the other S tier bosses. Yeah, the OST is maybe the best one they've made, to be honest, but yeah, the OST is insane. Yeah, I guess what I mean by that, with the fight being kind of boring, or not even boring, but it's just... What's the right... It's kind of almost one-dimensional, I guess, and in that the ways you have to deal with attacks is pretty limited. But if you look at the best fights, such as Morgott or Millennia, you have so many ways to deal with attacks. You can jump a bunch of stuff. A lot of cool strafes, but for Consort, it's just not that. So it's almost, it feels a little one-dimensional a little bit, I guess. Yeah. I felt like one of those DLC bosses that have insane moves for the sake of difficulty and flash. Mod boss. Oh yeah, 100% I agree with that. I think a lot of the bosses, I was just saying that earlier. A lot of the best bosses in this game, it just skews a little bit too much towards trying to look fancy. That's what I think. I've been saying that for a long time. Ever since Elden Ring came out, I was pretty much saying that. I felt like this game went too much in that direction for my taste. And I was concerned with the DLC that it was going to be even more of that, and it 100% was. That being said, though, I still think... I'm talking about the bad part about Consort. I still put him in an A tier, probably, or like an A- or something. I still think he's a good boss, and he's fun to fight, for the most part. I like Mesmer. I really like Midra. R'Lana's really fun. I still think they're good bosses, but my main point is that it's going a little bit too far in the direction of flashiness over the quality of the fight, and the complexity is getting a little bit too far for what the character has available to them in this game in terms of just base mechanics. Being able to roll and jump is cool, but when an attack is fucking summoning after images to blast you and then like comboing you into another attack, you just have no way to dodge it except to block. That's not ideal. That makes sense.
For bringing here and thus I shall depart. Farewell. I shall leave. I wish you luck. I have no.
How long did Millennia take on the Nightmare Reno? I don't actually know. Is it 4 hours? Somewhere around that range. It's probably the longest any boss has ever taken me. And for good reason, because that boss was just... When you think of a bullshit boss, that is what I would immediately think of. Just horrific. It was meant to be like that, so it kind of gets a pass. It's not like someone was trying to make a good boss, and then that came out, and they're like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. And then I go to fight, it's like, holy shit, this is so bad. It was supposed to be terrible. And it absolutely was. I think if people want to see the difference between just a straight-up hard boss that's poorly designed versus one that's really well designed, I think the best example would be look at what that Millennia was versus what Erlang is in Wukong. That's what I think Wukong is, or Erlang is just an absolute god tier fight. And that's how you make a boss really hard, but insanely fun. I spent 3 hours on Erlang. I wasn't in any rush to beat him or anything, but the entire 3 hours was just so much fun, dude. And that's how it's done. No bullshit, just like, and everything was fair, and I could figure out a way to dodge everything, but being able to execute it every time, and he had so many moves, super tough. But that's how you do it. Did I find a consistent way to dodge waterfowl? Like on my first playthrough? No way, dude. I just Bloodhound stepped. I ended up getting chipped a couple times, but that's all I did. I just used Bloodhound step. And that was pre-nerf as well. Oh, the Nightmare Rando. No, I didn't figure out how to dodge it. I don't know if there's a way to do it, to be honest. Yeah, we still got a couple hours on the YouTube stream. The timing is kind of unfortunate, actually, for when I have to restart it. But now, if you're talking about a cinema boss, though, Erlang is just it's just ridiculously good, man. I still want to go back and learn that fight better at some point. Definitely wouldn't say I'm an expert at it. I fought him a few times, though, now. Play E33 for more cinema? Really? Like, bosses on that level? Or is it just looks? You know what? I wonder what this thing's jump R2 is. Okay, where's my stun? Cronies, how's it going, dude? This is +6 at the moment. I guess this really is 24 poise damage, isn't it? Because I think that's why I was wondering why it took so long for him to stun. Wukong actually that good? I think Wukong's a really fun game. But, you know, is it on FromSoft level? No, but like, I genuinely would put Erlang in my top 5 pretty much any boss in any game. To be fair, I haven't played a lot of games. but yeah, in terms of Souls, like if I put him in a Souls tier list, he would easily be top 5. No, like no question. Maybe even higher than that. Wouldn't even have to think about it. Maybe even top 1. I would consider that. Like, is there a boss in a Souls game that I liked more than Erlang? I'm not sure. Like, Ishin is up there as well, although that's not a Souls game as well. But if we're talking about, you know, just other good game bosses, Ishin is certainly up there, but you know what? I guess the way I would almost see it is Sword Saint Ishin for 2019 is how I feel about Erlang in 2020. What year it came out? 2023? 4? This is 2024, right? That's kind of the way I feel about that fight, I would say. Yeah, I do think, yeah, to be fair, I should probably learn the boss better before I claim that. Because, you know, bosses like Sword Saint Ishin, I've fought hitless like hundreds of times, but Erlang, I've never done him hitless. So, that's a fair point. Based on the few times I've fought him, though, you know, the first time I beat him, it was like 3 hours of attempting it. And then after that, you know, in other playthroughs, it didn't take as long, but certainly wasn't, I walk in and I first try it, no issues. Okay, so what am I doing here? Just not being greedy, I guess. Honestly, I think a bigger problem during this marathon than my voice will be my eyes, dude. I gotta remember to blink more, dude. Worst boss in the series in Souls? I don't know. There are a lot to pick from. I think based on the ones that the one that annoys me the most, dude, I don't know. I'm thinking about Gideon. Because sure, Bed of Chaos would be people's automatic answer. For me, it's not Bed of Chaos though. I think it could be Gideon. It could be Jory. Jory's an absolutely horrific boss. Like, pick an NPC boss. If Letta was a boss, it would probably be that. I don't know. This game has some absolutely horrific bosses in it. Unfortunately. Has some really good ones, but... Nah, the DS2 trio is not even close. For me, at least. Someone say Caius. Funny. Oh, fuck off, dude. No, why did I do that? I guess the stun's gone.
Such shame I cannot bear. Thy part in this shall not be forgiven.
Nice. Very fun boss with this weapon. I can't say I've really used rapiers much on him, but... Yeah, Greatwood is a terrible boss too. Yeah, Greatwood certainly... Well, you know what? I'm going to make a boss tier list very soon. Now that I've literally fought every single Souls boss, Soulsborne boss that exists with the Chalice. And that might be fun to do during the marathon, actually. No, Rykard is not even close, dude. Rykard's a good boss, honestly. Where does Manny DeBoer rank?
Allow me. You were prevented the thorns, a husk. In the way
Probably
I've become
in
my
like the
purpose, so
D
I'd like
plus,
to
C
display
minus
them
tier.
and guide.
I guess like maybe in the C tier. Cause it honestly just loses a lot of points because it's a repeat enemy. But if it wasn't a repeat enemy, it wouldn't be so bad. Manny DeBoer. I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick. I'll be back in a sec, you guys. Okay. Hender, if I didn't say thanks for the 11-month Prime sub, dude. Who's the hardest boss in all Souls? I think it's either Consort or Millennia, for sure. One of the two. Probably with the nerf, Millennia, still. Yeah, God's Duo is pretty tough as well. Quarantine and Smo is honestly a shout too. It's kind of the OG hard boss, I would say, because Demon Souls doesn't really have any hard bosses in it. I mean, Alant is the hardest it gets, and for the time, I guess he's decently hard, but Quarantine and Smo is definitely the first hard boss in Souls games, I would say. The first actually really hard boss where people get stuff for days on it. Yeah, maybe I should make a tier list in this marathon, but that's a lot of extra talking, dude. So I don't know. Yeah, I had a very hard time with Udex Thunder my first playthrough, but it's because I had no idea how anything worked. Like, I just jumped into it. I had no idea what was going on. You keep up with the Suns? Well, I watched the game last night, so. Origin Smoke's not that hard? No, they absolutely are that hard, dude. Yeah. I mean, sure, if you go in there with a Black Knight Halberd or something, then yeah, they're not going to be too tough, but they are definitely hard. They are absolutely the first like very hard boss in the Souls games. No question. And if you don't recognize that, then I have no idea. Like, I don't know what's going on. Count Street Cheese Strats Bloodborne might have the hardest fights. Nah, dude, I don't think so. First of all, there are a lot of cheeses in Bloodborne. In fact, there are probably the most. It depends if you count scripted boss fights as cheeses, I guess. But if you look at the Bloodborne all bosses no hit run, the hardest boss in the game gets cheesed by simply parry R1, and then that's the whole fight. Like, and then you script some of the tougher bosses. And then also the fact that pellets exist in that game. Beast Blood pellets are one of the strongest buffs they've ever put in one of these games. So no, I totally disagree with that. I've seen people say that Sekiro also doesn't have a lot of cheese in it, which is just not even close to true. I think people just kind of assume, like, based on the limited options you have in the game, like, Bloodborne doesn't have a lot of stuff in it. Only a handful of weapons, like 26 or 24 weapons or something like that, and you know, the spells are arcane tools, which are, you know, some of them are just super niche. Kind of just assume that there's not a way to cheese them, but Bloodborne, yeah, if you go watch the all boss no hit run I did, like, it's just scripted fight after scripted fight. So few bosses are just a straight up fight. Orphan would be, but there's a cheese for him. And Maria is one of the only ones that's just like a straight up boss fight. Even then, we just, like, because of pellets, you're able to just skip everything past phase 1 pretty easily. Is this fine? I didn't have enough money to upgrade, but I think we're good. Risley, thanks for the brand new Prime sub. But yeah, I think probably the least cheesable game is, I want to say Dark Souls 3, but there are a lot of cheese in that game too. Is it DS2? Could be Dark Souls 2. But of course, in order to cheese boss, you need to have the game knowledge to do it. You need to know it exists. You need to know where the things that you need to do it are. All that stuff. I am very concerned about Fire Giant on this one. This is going to be a Memory of Grace fiasco, potentially. What is the game where you can get the most OP the fastest way? The answer is obviously Elden Ring, because of the open world. But if you're not including Elden Ring, it's got to be DS1, I guess, right? Because DS1, you can just go get Red Tearstone right away. Red Tearstone and Sorcery just, like, will make DS1 so easy. It is insane. But yeah, Elden Ring is obviously the answer, because you can just go get a +9 Somber by fighting a single boss.
Great.
Okay, here we go. Zero G, by the way, if I didn't say thanks for the Burning Prime sub, dude. Not the worst. Frost proc? No, I shouldn't have done R1, but not the worst. I would love it. Dude, if we get a stun built up here. Almost walking that fire. Oh, for fuck's sakes, dude. I wonder if he... No, he didn't eat the stun because I would have heard it. From the phase change, at least. Where did our stun go? He's only got 120 poise. There's no way he wouldn't have stunned with that many attacks. Where did the stun go? Just gotta try to go for a stun here. pretty tricky. No frostbite proc, which is a little surprising. He's resistant to it, but not that resistant. Surprised we didn't get one in phase 1. It wouldn't be as it would not be nearly as stressful fighting Fire Giant if there wasn't an attack that just made me have to Memory of Grace every time, which is the Fire Breath. Darkito, thanks for the 23-month Prime sub. If I didn't have to worry about that, then it would kind of be fine. But yeah, I need to be aware every time I get far away from him, pretty much. Or even if I'm not that far away, he can still do Fire Breath, so. Okay, so I didn't test Godskin Duo, but I kind of just assumed they would be okay. I hope I'm correct.
I have lost this world and death. Are you to commit? Very let my hand.
See that McDavid goal the other night? Yeah, dude, I did see that. That was that was fucked up. That's one of the nicest goals I've ever seen, easily. Like any other spinorama goal I've seen, like Kane's done it a few times. I remember even Chara did one, I think. That was certainly the best one I've seen. I mean, the Kane one's pretty nice, though. There might be more, too. But yeah, that one, especially the fact that the defenseman totally just... Like, I don't even know what he was doing, dude. He was on another planet. He had the drunk glasses on. Just totally bit the wrong way. Should be 17? You're right. Yeah, it should have been 17. But yeah, that was pretty insane. Boss is better, Gale or Millennia? That's a really tough one, actually. The one I like fighting more, for sure, is Millennia, easily. In terms of which one's better, though... I kind of feel like I like Gale more. Maybe. What am I doing? I think Gale's better. Just from a design perspective on first playthroughs for people, I think Gale is just such a more satisfying experience than Millennia is. And that's kind of the main reason. As I always say, once you know how to fight Millennia and you know how to dodge waterfowl, she's one of the most fun fights, if not the most fun fight they've made. Gale is definitely not one of the most fun fights they've made. It's really good, but it's not as good as some of the other ones, even in DS3. But just everything about the boss is so good, though. So yeah, I would say Gale is probably better. I guess, I mean, I think most people think of Millennia as like, oh, she's that extremely hard super boss. But then when I think of Gale, it's like, oh, that's that fucking crazy good boss fight at the end of DS3. It's kind of like the perception of both bosses is definitely different. People see Gale as the really good boss. People see Millennia as the really hard boss. And that's, I guess that's the difference. How many pots do I have here? Not enough, but I will go collect more at some point. Once it's time to go do the Gideon cheese. Yeah, Bale, I like Bale more than Midir. I would agree with that. I do think Midir is actually really solid, especially fighting him again in the co-op run with Potastic. It kind of reminded me of how good of a boss it actually is, especially when you see somebody getting hit by the moves because they don't know exactly what to do. It did remind me of how good of a boss it actually is. Because he's so simple when you know his moveset that you just kind of forget it. He's actually a pretty good boss. When you know exactly the positionings to be in and all that stuff, but when you don't, it's... I think he's good. But Bale, I do think Bale crosses the line, as I was saying earlier, but I still think he's probably better. How'd I get on horse?
And I can also that you're not. Then why not? I am Carly.
I have said this before. I think Midir...
What?
I think Bale, maybe he's moved down my tier list. I had him at S tier before. Does he go down to A? I kind of feel like he's a 3/4 of a tier higher than Midir is. Half to 3/4 of a tier at this point. Whatever that means. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd put Bale in S tier anymore. I think I still would. Yeah, I think he's a low S tier for me. And so, yeah, I usually put Midir in, like, mid A tier. Mid to low A tier, so I think that makes sense. Okay, I really hope this works out well. Only got 4 sleep pots. Surely that's enough. So 80 poise, 24 poise damage a hit. I feel like I should be able to get the poise break here. Okay, kind of scary, but... Yep, bit of a tricky fight with this thing. Gotta get more blue flask, dude. Nearly ran out there somehow. I'm gonna warp back to this Grace so that the guy pathing is back to normal. Yeah, still clean. But it is... Yeah, lower tier weapons have to deal with some attacks there. And that might have been the most attacks I've had to deal with, actually. Like, full-blown getting Apostle transition is pretty uncommon. Oh shit, I don't have the Beast Torch out. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've used a weapon that had that rough of a Godskin fight. Magic Sphere is not good. There's literally no magic damage in this weapon, unless I'm mistaken. But yeah, the Charge R2 on this weapon, it's not even a weapon hit. It's only a projectile. So, yeah, it's a weird thing. There's no Charge R2 on this weapon, as far as I'm concerned. Although that projectile is pretty nice. It's nice to have for certain things, but I'd rather just have an actual R2 that works. Yeah, because I was trying some Gideon kill with it. I tried the R2 and it's like, wow, this does such an insanely small amount of damage that I can't even believe it. Lady Maria or Sister Frida. I usually rank Frida higher, but they're both like top S tier bosses in my opinion. I guess the thing I don't like about Maria that lowers her more than Frida. Frida's got the duo part of the fight, which a lot of people don't like, but I feel like Maria in the later phases is just a little bit too unpunishable. A little bit too hard to punish. I really don't know how I missed that, but I'm gonna need more sleep. Yeah, this is like DS2 Ice Rapier, but the most Wish version ever. Because the DS2 Ice Rapier is a god tier weapon, but this thing is... It's usable, but you need to be using it in the right situation. Enemy weak to frost. And I guess that's pretty much it. I like to sleep the guy in Farmazula. Because if I miss the skip like that, there's no chance he attacks and doesn't let me fast travel out. I've been to Montreal a few times, yeah. Nice place. Duo Ape or Godskin Duo? Easily Duo Ape. There's no question. Almost jumped too late there. One thing that's tough about missing this jump, you end up falling super fast. So it's actually, you need to be really good at your fast travel to get it. You missed that jump. I wouldn't go as far as saying Duo Ape is a really good boss, but I think they're better, for sure, than Godskin. Definitely. But yeah, I usually put it in in a B tier with Duo Ape. I think they're solid. The main problem I have is the arena. Arena sucks. That's the worst FromSoft boss. No, it's not the worst, but it's bad. It's not a good boss. Like reused enemies. You know, just a classic gang fight. I do think the fight can be fun when you know what's going on. But no, it's just overall, it's just not a good boss.
I will not have it stolen from me again.
Classic frost proc on the final hit of the boss.
Why cover destined death? To kill what?
I was tempted at one point in that fight to do the R2. Like when I didn't do anything when he did that jump sound, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna R2, but then I think I just delayed too much. So I just didn't. Okay, so we're gonna go upgrade, and then we're gonna do a little bit of a setup for Gideon. Easily best boss in the game. You're like Malekith, you're saying? I would honestly agree with you. I think Malekith might be my highest ranked boss in the game. Yep, insanely good boss. I just wish like some of the numbers are wrong though. He doesn't have enough poise, and then on a run like this, it feels like he has enough health, but he probably should have more health too. More health, more poise would have been nice. But yeah, for me, I think he's probably my favorite boss in the game. Like, overall.
Oh, now.
Okay, plus 10. Yeah, now we gotta go get all the pots set up. Some more decks, I guess. Still scaling okay. I don't think getting more endurance really matters. Okay, so fetid pots are over here. Really won't get hit by a rogue bear or something. Probably gonna need more mushrooms too. Oh, you know what? I guess the frost pot cooking or cookbook I need. Forgot about that one. Yeah. Okay, so we need 5 of these. I wrote it down. 5 of these. I guess I actually don't need more mushrooms because the poison pots don't need them. And I think a frost pot is just only the crystal buds, if I'm not mistaken. First half of DS3 is pretty trash. In terms of what? Because if you're talking about bosses, that's just not true. But if you're talking about like Ares and stuff, Even that, I don't know. I wouldn't agree with that, probably. I mean, you start with a really good tutorial boss, Gundyr. Lothric is a decent area, I would say. Vort's okay. Baron Keep, sure. Baron Keep pretty much sucks. But Abyss Watchers, at least the phase 2 is cool. Okay, maybe you're right. Because then you have Deacons and Sage, which are both bad. Wolnir is pretty bad. ODK is not amazing. Yeah, okay, that's right. That's fair. Yep. After that is when it gets decent. All it took was me going through the bosses. Okay, we had enough already. So we need 4 of these. If I get an extra one, which one should it be? I guess this one? No, maybe it should have been the other one, actually. Whoops. Okay, well. Guess I still can. Okay, so the frost pot crafting. There are some enemies on the way. Yeah, Greatwood, best boss. Really won't lose a run to this part. You'd think I'd be able to just blast this enemy in here. Or just ignore. Oh, fuck, there's a trap there. God damn it, dude. Ooh, it kind of scared me. Kind of scared me a lot. Oh, yes. Okay, we still need the Frenzy Flamestone as well. And then we're good to go. Ever been blinded by Wolnir? What do you mean by that? But probably not. Like when he puts his sword away or something? Or like the explosion? Okay, now we're good to go. Okay, wait, what is this? What the hell? I wonder what that sounded like. What the hell?
What was that?
And then it gets smoked. What the hell? What even is that? I fought Wolnir a lot. I've never seen anything like that. It's crazy. Okay, please don't mess this up, because if I do, then I pretty much have to go down to the Lake of Rot or something. So. This Elden Beast is going to be really tough, man. This is going to be a really bad Elden Beast, I think. Just it feels like the weapon's getting worse as we're going through here. And I guess that's probably going to be true with all Sombers. Just because we can upgrade them faster than the Smithing Stone. It almost looked like a mod, almost. Remnants of a Wolnir mod or something. Because I don't know. Okay, here we go. Good old Gideon. First time in this marathon that we're doing a cheese strat for him that isn't just
to stand before the Elden Ring,
like blasting him.
to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas.
Okay, so we're gonna start with the poison pot.
She'll take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle. Unto eternity.
I'm speeding up the game because I mean, I'm gonna wait here for 8 minutes. Okay, and now we do one fetid pot. Now we do one fetid and then one poison pot. So pretty much what, like I've obviously done cheese strats like this on Gideon before, but the difference is that we don't need to go get the rot pots. So that's what's really nice about this strat, because this is a brand new strat to me. I've never seen this. But yeah, raw pots just take a long time to go get, right? Because you got to go kill Loretta. Do the skip. So just, I don't know. It saves a lot of headache with having to go get rot pots. Okay, now 2 fetid pots and then 1 poison. And we have the extra poison, I guess, just in case something goes wrong here. I think I grabbed it. Ooh, okay, yeah, I definitely should bring in the last pot here. We just go with 10. Yeah, we didn't even start with the pot gift here, so. Okay, and now finish with the frost pot.
I know in my bones a tarnished cannot
Here we go.
become a lord.
Yeah, like based on the run requests I've done so far, I don't think that many weapons needed a cheese for this guy. But this one does, kinda. Someone was saying the other day they missed the days when you could just skip Gideon, and I definitely do as well. I wish I could just skip him. The tree branch. That would be nice. But no, they just really had to make sure that you fought Gideon on every single playthrough. They had to be certain of it. Holy shit, I'm bringing this bowl all the way to the Erd Tree. Must be a skip somewhere. I don't think so, dude. I don't think so. Didn't they just, like, remove the entire branch? Surprised that was enough damage for this. Come on, you're a frost weapon. You gotta proc him, bro. There it is. Actually, it takes an insane amount of time to proc an enemy for a frost weapon.
Brave, tarnished. Thy strength befits a crown.
Not terrible though. Like one thing with this weapon is that it is very fun to fight these bosses with it. It's kind of the opposite of that giant crusher build, like where fighting bosses with it was honestly just terrible because it was so damn slow. This one's the exact opposite. Does it make sense to get some endurance at any point? I wouldn't say we were having issues with endurance there, but I guess I can. We're not getting much from Dex anyways. Actually, strength better? Yeah, strength is better at this point. I should have been getting strength for a while. Damn, that's actually a pretty sizable increase. Yeah, I should have been getting some strength. You probably should have stopped at like 80. I could go get the strength tier, I guess, but... Okay, here we go. You know what? I'm gonna go all blue here. I'm gonna go all blue. I think Impaling Thrust is gonna be the key on Elden Beast, so... Yeah, I'm gonna play the Night Rain DLC when it comes out. Probably just spend a day playing Night Rain, or if it's bad, just less than a day, I guess. If it's really good, then maybe more. Okay, this is gonna be tough, dude. This is gonna be real tough here. So far, so good. Please drink. Honestly, not bad. Here's where I foresee the problem. Ah, really, dude? That's not what I wanted. It's really not what I wanted. That was almost too early. You know what? That wasn't that bad, dude. That was actually pretty solid. But it's so unfortunate that we got the bow stun, though. Like, I guess we were super close to being able to poise break him there. Because the idea with that bow shot is to just upkeep poise damage. It's basically just a different version of doing the scrap strat. But yeah, I guess we must have been just a couple poise damage away from breaking him there, so. Yeah, it looked cool, but it didn't really set me up that well. Because what I was going to do is, if that landed, if he spawned in and then did Elden Stars, I would have just canceled it, and then we just continue on with the fight as normal. But anyways, that was pretty clean, dude. For a weapon that's maybe not great. We managed to do it. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue on this run. I guess I should. Why the hell not? Let's just do it. We've done it on every other run so far. See if we can get in all great runes. Yeah, 3 runs today. Sorta. Sorta because of that Alabaster Lord Sword run, but quite a successful day, I would say. Yeah, that was an interesting Elden Beast. Pretty much all I had to do there, if I'd planned this route beforehand, I would have done it, but all I had to do was, instead of doing that last impaling thrust, I just had to spam R1 at the end of it, do the bow shot or the glint blade, or the Glintstone scrap strat, and then just once he spawns in and does Elden Stars, I just stun him immediately. Kind of an old school strat of doing it, but I think it would have worked well. But yeah, another run in the books, dude. So we're at 5 runs done in 2 days. And several of them have been all great runes as well. I think 3 of them? Is that possible? I think so. Because we did the Claws was all great runes, base game. Because there are no great runes in the DLC. The Rosas Axe was as well. And then Alabaster Lord Sword was minus Placidus Axe, I guess. Nice, dude. Ah, dude. I wish this had a bit more range on it. Absolutely insane spear. Wow, what a kill that was. Holy shit, dude. The hilarious thing is that was actually a better kill than the Alabaster Lordsword one, somehow. That was actually much better. But yeah, just I guess because he took an extra hit to stun, so that's just more damage I build up before he could do anything. Wow, that was really nice right there. I would have to say, overall, I'm pretty impressed with this weapon, dude. Like, the Elden Beast was much better than I thought. Still, you know, maybe below average, but better than I thought. That's the theme of this run. Better than I thought. Some of the early game kills are pretty good. I guess where it would struggle the most is, like, where was it the worst so far? I don't even really know. I feel like it's been just kind of okay at everything. Which, again, that's better than I thought. I thought this was going to be really shit. I think Millennia is going to be tough with this thing, though. Because we have no R2 to use. Every time I fought Millennia with a rapier, I've just used tap R2s. We don't have it here. So it's going to be a super weird fight. And I'm probably going to get hit, but...
Dear me, your merciless moves. Let the curse take every...
How much longer am I going tonight is the question. I probably should take another break at some point. I haven't really taken a lot of breaks today. We've been busy getting the runs, dude. Because yeah, it's been over 12 hours, and I think I've only taken like a 30-minute break and then like a 10-minute one. Could be could do with more maybe. Just gotta go eat something after this, I think. After I get hit. And then after that, I wonder, like, should I just go for another run or should I do French run? Because that's what I was kind of thinking about. Or maybe I should save that until I am feeling a bit bored of the run requests or something. Maybe that makes sense. Yeah, the French run's still going. Yeah, we're like 80 bosses in or something like that. Have I done a lightning ram only run? I don't think so. I think I've used it on some run at some point, but... I mean, yeah, someone requested a lightning ram no hit or something like that, right? Which obviously I'm not doing. Obviously not. You know what? Because I have the frost recipe, this could be a run where I try the frost pot on waterfowl, but I just don't think. I think it would get me killed if I try it. So... believe that would get me killed. Would I rather be reborn in France or in Demon Ruins? I'm gonna say Demon Ruins, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, probably Demon Ruins, though. That'd be sick, dude. Just, like, chill out with all my demon guys and make fire and stuff. Sounds pretty cool. But, yeah. I would take that. Depends what kind of enemy I am, though, or, like, what I am. Like, if I'm just being attacked all the time, then I would still take it, probably. It's getting, like, swarmed by fire-breathing statues and... Oh, yeah, if I'm a Taurus demon, dude, that's an easy take. That's sick, dude. As long as the chosen undead doesn't roll down and blast me, then I'm good. Starting to get used to using the triggers to swap my weapon. The French run is, it's a use what you get. Randomizer all bosses deathless run. And so it's pretty much what I've already done before. Except use what you get. Let's try that guy aggroed. Oops. Yeah, and the run is very fun. I think those randomizer deathless runs are really fun. So yeah. I just wanted to try it out, see what it was like. I haven't done a use what you get randomizer in a long time. Yeah, the level 1 deathless rando. Yeah, that run is one of the most fun runs to do, but it is very punishing, man.
Maybe I'll give you the
Lindstone,
best
thanks for
not
the 18-month resub.
Would you rather fight teleporting DS3 dogs for the rest of time or fight Gideon for the rest of time?
Easily the dogs, dude. There's no question. No question. Yeah, I think quite a few people have finished the run already. Like, I think the challenge has been out for a long time, right? Like a few months, so. I think it's called the French run because apparently Domo just saw a bunch of the French streamers doing it, and he's like, oh, it's the French run. So I believe that is the name, or where the name came from. Is it only 3? This sounds like... I thought it was more than that, but... Yeah, it's certainly not the hardest run ever, but... There is, of course, RNG with certain running sections like this one on a randomizer. Maybe someone should make a level 1 deathless randomizer bounty or something like that. Now that would be fucking sick, dude, if someone did that. I do want to do it at some point, I think, but I have too many other things that I want to do to spend time doing that run. I mean, the base game version was pretty sick. But the DLC is just, you know, the amount of bullshit enemies in the DLC is... It just makes that run so much harder. But it was already hard in the base game. Jokes about me starting it the day after I did the France run. Yeah. I mean, hey, people just told me to... I didn't come up with that name. Next long form run will be... I think it's going to be the fucking... Bloodborne plus Chalices is pretty long, but... The God run all bosses, dude. That's like the holy grail run, I would say. Yeah, yeah. The DLC or the Volcano Manor death on that level 1 was really devastating. And that's just another BS DLC enemy, right? I couldn't even imagine, though. If I get the spiral enemies, I'm so dead, man, on a run like that. You just get hit by one spiral and you get killed in the DLC. At level 1. And I think on that run, I was missing some of the good talismans, too. I don't know if I had Ritual Shield, or I may have. But I didn't have, like, a perfect build or anything. When I did the base game run, I got super lucky, and I ended up getting pretty much everything you could ever want. Like, Dragon Crest Great Shield, I think I had. Ritual Shield, Godric's Great Rune pretty early. But yeah, the one thing is that run is heavily dependent on RNG. If you don't get those items, you're just not going to be able to do the run, basically. You need to get those defensive buffs that allow you to survive stuff. And, yeah. Pretty good damage here. I love the frost proc now. I mean, it has to... There it is. Pretty clean. Marshall's run was 18 hours to include Elden Ring. Oh, yeah, I mean, there's also Chalice Dungeons as well, which is another, like, 3 hours at least. Yeah, I'm predicting... I'm honestly predicting, though, that run will probably be, like, 25 hours if I'm super efficient. That's what I'd be aiming for. It is... Like, I do think that's one of my strengths for doing multi-game runs is that my routes are very efficient. And when you're doing super long runs like that, that helps so much. So yeah, I predict probably, like, so if we're saying maybe 12 and a half hours for Elden Ring, or like, it's between 12 and 13, I think. Maybe 12 was my base game run. And then dude, Chalice might be down. I might be down to 4 hours on Chalice, potentially. We'll have to see. But let's say 4 hours as a generous estimate. But I think it's going to be around 4 hours in game time, that is. So 12 and 4, maybe 4.5. We're at 16 and a half hours. And then you've got DS3, which my route is... What is my route? It's 150 or so, I think. 155, maybe. So roughly 2 hours. Wait, 18 and a half hours. And then DS1 is about 2 hours as well. It's 20 and a half. And then DS2, I don't think I said is 3 and a half. Maybe even faster because certain skips I'm able to implement now. Like the big broom tower skip I'm starting to do. So that one, yeah, just a high estimate would be 3.5 hours for that one. So what am I at? The 22 hours? Is that right? And then Demon Souls is like 2 hours as well. So yeah, like 25 hours at least, or 24 hours, but real time it'll be, of course, like maybe 27 or something like that. Hard to say. But yeah, that efficiency on a run that's that huge. Someone could do that run and it would easily be... It wouldn't be crazy for that run to be 40 hours for someone, right? But yeah, because efficiency is something I try to make my runs, and I think it's important. Yeah, I mean, when I did the God Run 3, my run was like 9 hours, dude. It was like 9 hours in-game time or something like that. I think it was 10 hours real time. And then the fastest before that, I think, was like 16. So it makes a big difference, as you could see. Just by those numbers right there. I guess the most important thing, I don't say speed because I feel like speed is different. Although it just depends. I mean, maybe it's not different, but I say efficiency because I'm not actually... I'm not rushing through the game. I'm not doing risky strats in order to save time.
Excited to see what
it's just
we can pull off
the
in
things
this
I'm doing
marathon.
are I try to make them as efficient as possible.
Going to a convention
So it's
to
still
possibly
safety
meet
is
some
by far the
fans?
biggest priority,
Or
but
do you
then
simply enjoy your privacy and aren't interested? I wouldn't blame you.
I'm gonna have to reread that whole thing. Tombstone, thanks for the 21-month resub, dude. Yeah, I'm not sacrificing any safety. And there used to be a lot of people thought back in the day that when no-hit runs were done fast, it was just like going to be unsafe, and a DS3 80% had to be 3 hours long or something like that, you know? That's actually the reason I started doing no-hit speedruns in the first place. In Dark Souls 3 was to be like, the routes can actually be pretty quick and still relatively safe, although it turned into something that was an RNG grind, but that was the original purpose, was just to come up with an efficient route for DS3. And then, yeah, my first time for that was like an hour 10, which nowadays, an hour 10 DS3 80% doesn't feel that quick. But at the time, the fastest that was done was like 150. So, yeah, anyways, all that to say, efficiency is important, especially the longer the run, the more important it is. Considered going to a convention, meet some fans. I don't know, man. I don't know. I've never considered it though, no, because whoops, I don't have full valve, but I've never considered it because, you know, TwitchCon is in like LA every time. I'm not going to LA, dude. But if there was something close by, maybe. Yeah, what happened with Emery? Yeah, surely that would happen to me, dude. Surely. But no, I'm probably gonna get smoked here, by the way, but because the R1s don't even hit stun here. Wait, maybe they do? Am I wrong here? That was not safe if she did the front flip, if it didn't hit stun. I need to figure out if it'll hit stun her. I didn't think it would. No, it doesn't. Okay. So I can't punish that, I guess. I kind of don't know what to do, man, because all my punishes that I normally go for, I just can't. Yeah, so the thing is, every time before this that I fought her with a rapier, I've just used tap R2s, but I can't here because this thing doesn't really have a tap R2. It shoots out a projectile. Oh, fuck, dude. That was close.
Your strength.
Ooh, very awkward with this thing.
The mark.
A little bit of a greed at the end, but I think I would have been able to roll in time anyways. That's why I went for it. Okay, surely Moog is okay with this thing. Resistant to Frost Boss. If I manage to no-hit all Great Runes with this thing, that'd be pretty wild. Yeah, luckily we have Impaling Thrust on this thing. I don't know if I've said that enough yet. If I didn't have Impaling Thrust, I would be in big trouble on this run. But it's what made Elden Beast decent. It made some of the earlier bosses decent because you actually get stuns. I guess primarily Elden Beast because you can't status effect them. Yeah, imagine that kick. Yeah. No, we're not going to be able to one-cycle him on this. There's no way. So we're just going to have to deal with Phase 2, which I haven't fought Phase 2 in a while, but I think it's the worst weapon in the game. It's a good question, dude. I don't know. It could be the Crystal Knife. It's possible. I haven't really used it for good reason. Yeah, Varg's Bouquet is really bad, but at least it bleeds stuff, right? So certain bosses, it actually can be okay. Got a good Ash of War on it, too. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it heals you. So I wouldn't say Varg's Bouquet. I think the Ivory Sickle or whatever it's called, which somebody requested to run with, I feel like that and the Crystal Knife are very similar weapons, and they're both terrible. Yeah, sure, crossbows could be worse, but I guess I'm just thinking melee weapons. Nah, Varg's Bouquet doesn't have a clunky moveset, dude. Isn't it just hammer moveset? Yeah, Spencer Grip Dagger is pretty bad, too. Although the Ash of War you can put on it is okay. Not counting torches. Honestly, I would... I don't know. We'll have to see when I do that ivory sickle run, but... It's possible that the torches are better than it. Possible. Nah, Cincadia is definitely not one of the worst weapons. Yeah, maybe it's not great, but there's no way it's one of the worst. Says this with parry is brutal. Yeah, but why would you use parry on it, though? If you're going Cestus, Cestus is actually a solid weapon. I think underrated weapon. Put Pride Blade on it, do jump attacks. Jump R2 is really good. Charged R2s are pretty decent. I mean, I did a no-hit run with the Spike Cestus. It's one of the earlier run requests I did, and it was, like, very easy. First tried it, like, no problem. I feel like maybe some of the Smith script weapons are really bad. But I just haven't used them enough. Dude, this run's gonna feel like a breeze compared to, I think, when we do the Ivory Sickle run. I feel like that's gonna be so bad. All right, well, let's see what we can make happen here. I think there's a pretty much 0% chance of any sort of one cycle. In phase 2... At least it's a fast weapon, though. Was that the same backhand blade? It was the... I think it was just the base backhand blade, wasn't it? Just the base one you get in Gravesite Plain. Yeah, that thing hits like a truck, dude. I was thinking maybe I should go get the tier, but it's not going to change very much, I guess. Oh, shit, we actually got the stun. No way, dude. Oh my god, we smoked them.
I can see it. As clear as
that was really clean, actually. What the hell? That was so sick. This weapon keeps surprising me. Like I said, I literally said 0% chance of a one cycle, and we just easily... easily got him. I think it's just sometimes low poise damage is helpful. And the claw run, I was kind of noticing it. I think here too. And the reason it's helpful is just because you don't get as many eaten poise breaks. So that was really good. And the frost proc came at the perfect time somehow, even though he's pretty resistant. That was actually a disgustingly good kill. That was really good. Nice, man. Any weapon not been able to one cycle? Nah, not yet. No, the thing is, for a build like this, he doesn't have an insane amount of health. As long as you can stun him at the right time. But yeah, that was actually really nice, dude. I wasn't actually confident that he was going to poise break there, but I got away with it, I guess. Yeah, 99% chance of one cycle. Yeah, I say 0 and it's really 99%. But no, I genuinely did not think I would even come close to that type of kill on him. Rosas went all great runes. And then I died to Romana. So. But yeah, this run, I mean, one more boss for the all great rune minus Rykard, and then we'll do Placidusax, and then maybe we go DLC with this thing. I was not expecting to make it this far, but yeah, was not expecting it to make it past Millennia, to be honest. Ever redo the run with touching a few graces possible with the DLC added? I don't know. Maybe. I attempted to do Stranded no grace at one point, but that's just so fucking bad. That was a big mistake. Because you don't get any weapon upgrades, you don't get any blessing, you can't level up, so... like, level 1 plus 0, no blessing. Which on its own maybe wouldn't be too bad, but then you get hit and you are sent all the way back to the start of the game. And you don't have any... like, there aren't really that good weapons in the DLC because of the stat requirements. And there aren't many stat boosting things in the DLC. So... but yeah, just doing a normal level 1 plus 0, no blessing with the base game stuff would be, like, that's not bad. But, yeah, if you're only using DLC stuff, it's very, very bad. I'm kind of I'm very curious. How will this compare to the level 1 Clean Rot Night Sword run that's requested? They said no statuses, though. But let's say I go Cragblade on that thing. But we're level 1. So, like... but level 1 in this game, I'm still going to get to, like, 40 dex. It'll be interesting. I think it's going to feel very similar to this. But a weapon with an actual R2 will be nice. But I'm also level 1. You Memory of Grace from DLC to base game? I would assume no, but I'm not actually sure. I would guess no. Game probably puts a temporary spawn point when you enter the DLC, but I'm like I said, I don't know. Let's go in. This might be the tankiest the Red Wolf has looked on any of these runs so far. Here we go. Bonk. Nice. A good use case for that right there. I was right, though. That is the tankiest the Red Wolf has looked so far. And then, who knows, Renala, we might actually have to pull out the Beast Torch or something like that. Not sure how exactly it's going to work. With the damage set up. Actually, you know what? The fact that it can't hit stun might be really good on her. I don't think it'll hit stun her in phase 2, so I could probably do a bunch of R1s and then an impaling thrust, so it actually might be fine. There's Vow for it's for when he does. There's a frame trap combo he does where he goes triple glint blade into the jump attack, immediate lunge attack, and that's a frame trap. Oftentimes it's a frame trap, so, or maybe not oftentimes, but it can be depending on the distance and depending on how he times it, because he can also change the timing. So Vow the Indomitable makes it so that it's more consistent to dodge that situation. Yeah, it is kind of weird that this thing doesn't do magic, but it's great because it makes the weapon better. If it was split magic, it'd be even worse. Okay, hopefully my idea works here. Because if it doesn't, then I'm in for a long fight. Or a long-ish fight. Yeah. Yeah, it worked perfectly, dude. Nice.
My dear daughter.
Because that's a rare situation where that little hit stun, like such little hit stun on an R1 is actually useful. Most of the time you don't want that, but there it's actually pretty good. Okay, well, that's all great runes minus right card. Or, yeah, I mean, minus right card, I guess. That's pretty nice. I actually didn't even think I was going to continue this run, so I didn't pick up the Under Bridge Grace. I just thought I would get hit before this point, so I just didn't even bother. Kind of funny. I'm gonna have to bow aim this. Yeah, I thought about that, strike odds, to do exactly that, but maybe I should do that for some of the other runs. That'd be nice to change it up a little bit. I just don't think it's really worth it, especially if I'm going all the way to, you know, Noble before right card is going to be a joke with any weapon, because I just sleep and then blast. And then, yeah, like, is it worth going all the way there for phase 1 right card? And then just a phase 2 cheese with Serpent Hunter? I that's why I haven't done it, because I just don't think it's worth it. Ziggy, have a good night, dude. So that's kind of what I was thinking. It's unfortunate there isn't a more viable way to fight him in phase 2 with a melee weapon. Okay, this is gonna be rough, I think. Oh, you know what? I should have gotten the Thorny tier, but... Okay, wait, I mean, I guess I won't. We're already here, so... I should have gotten the Thorny tier, though, dude. I would have actually made this so much better. Will I be able to stun him? So 25 or 24, I guess. The stun eventually here. I kind of went too far back. Stun would be huge here. Stun here? He has to. Guess I'm not going to get around to the face. Any frost? Honestly, dude, like, pretty decent. It's funny. If I had the Thorny tier, it'd be even better, obviously. Can't believe I forgot about that. This is a perfect weapon for it. And the Thorny tier is really strong. Okay, any Frost proc? Please. Oh my god, it's so insane, dude. That's so funny. What a great kill that was. Dang. Full-blown laser skip with this thing. Holy shit, we're still going, dude. We are still going. But yeah, Placidusax is like, he's got 1,000... He's got over 1,000 frost resists or something like that. It's like 1,200 resistant to every status effect, so... Generally, when you're doing a status build on him, it doesn't work well. And it takes until the end of the fight to actually proc anything. But we got it, and it helped, so... You know what? I'm gonna go get the Thorny tier now, though, I guess. Surely I won't die to that Avatar. Go pick up a Grace first. But yeah, the Thorny tier would have made that look even better right there. Yeah, fighting that Rot Avatar is dangerous. It's kind of dangerous because you don't have a lot of room when he does Golden Lands. We'll see what happens, though. Maybe we get lucky. It probably is worth it, though, yeah. Especially at this point, if I get hit, it doesn't really matter. So we may as well just try to go with the best build. But yeah, I should have absolutely gotten this much earlier than this. No Cuckries. Unfortunate. Yeah, I'm still gonna double stealth for Ensis, yeah. Average Rot Avatar fight right there. I'll take that. I'll take that over Golden Land. Because look, you just don't have many places to run when it happens, especially if you're on the wrong side of the boss. Okay, yeah, we should go get double stealth. one more run tonight? I don't know, dude. Not sure. It depends how far we get on this one, I guess. Okay, will this one-shot him?
What an enigma.
Yeah, he doesn't have much health.
To be certain, the volcano manor awaits you.
Yeah, this run's going all bosses, dude. How insane would it be to actually do that? Just random run equals all boss no hit run. Turns into that.
Could I ask that thug only if you've... Oh, what a blessed thug, please.
This is... We finished 3 runs today. Pretty much. No, that just would never happen because the problem is the NPC bosses, I think. But I mean, is it actually feasible that that could be done?
What are you trying to start? Show me, and I'll consider. I'm not in love with.
I don't know. The NPCs, dude. Like, imagine like fighting Dane without a strat is just like I feel like this is not happening. I feel like Dane wouldn't happen. I feel like I think some of the other ones like Dragon Man I could do for sure. I fought a lot of Ancient Dragon Man. I think Rakshasa you could probably do. And that's fine. The Red Bear. Nah, I don't think that's happening. I think Lamenter is not happening. There's a cheese for Lamenter though. So yeah, there are too many bosses in this game that you need a strat for an all bosses run to just like accidentally happen. Kankas, thanks for the 14-month resub. Thanks so much, dude. So yeah, it wouldn't happen. Maybe a base game run. I think a base game run's more likely. Also, not to mention Golden Hippo, right? He gets that phase change attack off. You just like there's nothing you can do. If you get unlucky, you just die. We still have 2 hours on YouTube limit.
Brave. I am Tanit. Rias, a warrior. Perhaps. Will you join YX? Rise with us. Interest. Now you believe the drawing room, but be sure.
I did Alabaster Lord Sword in between. You get some more water, dude. I think, like, I started with a full jug of this today. And I'm... Like, usually I finish it by the end of the night. Usually I'm not going for refills of this thing, generally. Especially when I have a bunch of other drinks. Like, I had tea, I had some soda. Like, streaming just makes me drink more, I think. What am I doing? Oh, yes. Admits I have a drinking problem. We will need a weapon to put Gambit on because I'm not using Ash of War. Or I am using Ash of War Golden Vow, so. All right, there it is. And we also need a great bow. So... What did I mess up about this running section last time? I think it's because the enemy followed me. I may need some more sleep pots too. But I think it's because that enemy followed me and it just somehow triggered everybody, or... I don't know. Emir's worse than Gideon? Nah, there's no way, dude. No way. Two garbage NPCs that have 17k health and fingers everywhere. Wait, what do you mean fingers everywhere? Oh yeah, for Ymir. Yeah, I'm not saying he's good, but they're both absolute F tier bosses. Like, no argument for me. I would rather fight Ymir than Gideon though, I think. Does Ymir heal? I can't remember. Can't forget about that part. Is like NPCs in the DLC have 20,000 health and then have a massive heal. I want sleep. And I'm not sure where I should get it. Let's go here, I guess. I kind of want sleep for that troll out front. It's not this way. What I do for Gideon on Nightmare. So fighting Gideon straight up with the right tools is not as it's more doable. So I would use I think the key to how I fight Gideon on a run like that is parry and retaliation. That's the key. And that does nullify a lot of his moveset, and then I just use crit. Like, I just crit him. Yeah, even on a run like the Nightmare run, he's not that long of a fight. Only about 5 minutes or so. And yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, the Blackdale Knight being the first DLC boss is actually so funny, man. It really does give you a good insight into what you're going to be experiencing. Here is NPC Spam, the DLC. Yeah, you guys didn't like Gideon. Here's I think, how many NPC bosses are there? Like 6 or 7? And then, oh yeah, here's a NPC gank boss that is required to kill the to kill the final boss of the game. Here you go. Didn't know you could just jump up there. Backstep queen 20 heals. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Okay, so what the plan here is, I wonder, you know what? Like, I guess I could probably sleep him. Okay, maybe I'll just sleep him then. Oh, shit. I'm dead. Ugh. Dude, the live testing. God damn it, man. Yep, the live testing got me. I should have just bowed him and run past. But here's what I think. I think that the reason the enemies on the bridge aggroed was because of these guys aggroing. And so I do have to take them out. I think, but let's see. At this point, we go Great Bow. I double stealth. Yeah, what happened last time is I used the Great Bow. Yeah. I used the Great Bow to knock that guy down and just run past. But then I ran across the bridge and everybody aggroed. And then let's see if this part works the same now. Where's the spot to shoot this? I can't really remember. Yeah, and see, now this part works properly as well. Yep. Yeah, okay. I just need to figure out what to do in that little room. That's it. And then I've got the route. Yeah, good thing I got Thorny Tear, yeah. It's a rip. Yeah. Just have to figure out what to do in that one room. Oh, shit. I'll still go fight Rolana, because why not? Yeah, it does kind of suck, though, that I died. I should just spend more time trying to figure out what to do for that room. It literally is just that one room that's left, and then the rest is good. What? Yeah, it surely hits equals 0. Yeah, we got hit. Because of a... like I said, I need to go and test that specific room for these runs. And then once I do, we should be good to go through Castle Ensis every time. Yeah, there is a skip, but I think it's just more fun to do the DLC without doing the skip. It's just less running around. Even if I gave myself the grace up here, just... I don't know. I'll just fight the boss. And then, move on to doing something else. Either another run or... French run, maybe. Or sleep soon. Like, sleep soon's probably not a terrible idea. Oh, dude, my game just totally ate that input right there. That hasn't happened in ages. At least I think so. What it felt like. Oops. Unless my reaction time's slow or something, but I'm pretty sure there was a lag spike there. Probably do another R1 after that. Okay, that was... I don't know what I'm doing. God damn it, dude. Certainly not the cleanest. Okay, let's go figure what to do in that room. Just so that the next run I actually can get past it and it's clean, because I haven't had a clean run past... I've made... One run today was past Rolana, but it wasn't clean. It definitely was not clean. It was absolutely insanely scuffed. Honestly, good weapon for Rolana, though.
Maybe I'll give you the best nut ever.
Okay, what the hell do I do? Maybe I sleep the back Mesmer Soldier first, is what I'm thinking. Yeah, maybe I was late. Yeah, that's possible. Chris, thanks for the brand new Prime sub, dude. What if I sleep this guy first? And then... I mean, I'd probably just sleep this guy too, I guess. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's the strat. And then we double stealth. There it is. That's the one. So, yeah, probably just sleep. Sleep for the Mesmer Soldier at least. And then we're pretty much good at this point. Okay. Another run done, though.